Coming to you from the historic Hart Building in Marysville, California, in Studio 93, In the Tank with Fish, with your host, Bob Fischetti.
All right, it's been a little while since we've done an In the Tank with Fish, but today I think you're going to like my guest. I know you're going to like my guest. I like my guest, and that's really all that it takes. But Kurt forgot to put my little sign up that tells me to tell you to like, share, comment, subscribe.
Follow? Is that what?
Follow. Thank you. Thank you. Cherish is going to help me.
Fifth word.
Yeah. It's like, so anyway, yeah, feel free to do that. Also, I just want to mention, we now have 93Q TV, so it gives you an opportunity. You can watch this and other In the Tanks with Fish will be on rotation in there and as well as on demand. So it's on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is 93Q TV. All right. So anyway, just letting you know all that's out. And I have Cherish with me. Cherish Cook.
That is me.
I knew I'd remember that, right? Cherish Cook, and I met Cherish. We did a morning interview.
We did.
And she's just a great gal. And unfortunately, you didn't get to hear her. The sound wasn't working. So I asked her, I said, well, then would you come in and do an In the Tank? And
absolutely.
Apparently, nobody told her. So she said yes. She was just like, yeah, I could do it. So I want to talk about you and how you grew up, because you have a great story of growing up in Louisiana.
Yes, sir. Baton Rouge.
Yeah. That's like Food City.
Yeah. Food City. Everyone has high blood pressure and high cholesterol. Honestly,
comes with it, right?
It comes with the territory.
Oh my gosh.
Everything is deep fried or breaded twice over.
Yeah.
So it comes with its pros and cons. That's one thing I do miss about being down there is the food. Not the weather, not the hurricanes, not the humidity, but it's the food. You know, the crawfish, the alligator, everything, catfish.
I'm not eating alligator.
They fry it.
I know.
You have like some little nuggets, or
I have this rule, like with hot food. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, I don't eat anything that eats me back. I don't want to eat something that would have eaten me first. It's like,
all you gotta do is put a little ketchup and hot sauce on there, right?
Oh man, come on.
No, but I thoroughly enjoy food. Like, I'm a foodie.
Do you like to cook?
I love to cook.
So the name fits.
No, seriously. My first word when I was a baby, I believe, this is what my mom told me, my first word was actually cook.
Oh, come on.
My first word was cook. And it's fitting now because I do a lot of cooking and, my married last name is Cook. But
what was your name before that?
Armstead. So I
Cook
did.
Fits you then.
Cook fits me. And it's not too far from the beginning of the alphabet where I feel like I messed up. It's like, oh, they're calling people by last name. I'm going to be like last. Like I'm still at the beginning, which is very helpful when there's roll call or something like that. And they're calling you by last name. But yeah, it's been great. I love being in the kitchen. I feel like that's my safe space, but it's also just kind of one of those things where if I'm overstimulated or I just had a rough day, I'm going to just get in the kitchen and bake. I recently got into sourdough. And that's been taking all of my time. I'm baking so much, but it's therapeutic. It's therapeutic.
I found that as I got older, I like to cook.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I did, but it's relaxing.
It is.
I know that sounds crazy, but
no, it is.
So I have my great grandmother's recipe for spaghetti sauce from Italy.
Wow.
And I make that once in a while, and I'm telling you, just
so that means I'm coming over to your
house
house on Sunday for some spaghetti.
I'll swap your sauce for gumbo.
Listen, it's still as long as it's under 70 degrees, I'll make gumbo. Anything above 70, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No. Because it's good for cold weather.
Absolutely. So a good time to catch me for gumbo is Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Because it's,
Absolutely.
I'll eat spaghetti sauce anytime.
Yeah, spaghetti's a staple.
Yeah.
Spaghetti's a staple. Like, you make a lot of it and it can last you a couple days. I mean, hopefully it will last.
Well, yeah, because it's just my wife and I now, so, I'll make less. So I have to ask you, as a little girl growing up, back there, because my experience with the South is there really is a Southern hospitality. It's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
It's not making it up. And there's a real sense of family that there can be a neighbor. And as far as you knew as a little girl.
The neighbor's cousins.
That was an adult. Yeah, they were either a cousin, but they were going to be somebody speaking your life.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but you couldn't get away with anything.
No, and I come from a large family.
Oh.
So my great-grandfather had 9 kids, right?
Oh, my God.
So you can only imagine. I have so many cousins, right? And so we were back in Louisiana in January for a funeral, and my husband was just amazed. He's like, "You can just go to anybody's house and they always have food ready." I'm like, "Yeah," because they all live, within a 10-mile radius of one another.
Yeah.
Like they never move. Like they stayed kind of like clustered together. So, and some even in the same neighborhood. So you can just go down the street, if so-and-so doesn't have what you're looking for, you better bet someone else is going to have it. He's like, "Wow, this is great. Like there's always like a bunch of food, always cooked, always ready." I said, "Yes, that's how we roll." Like
that is that hospitality, right?
Yeah.
Italians were that way. My dad came out of a family of 13. He had 7.
Oh, wow.
And if my wife hadn't told me the factory was closed, we'd have had more, but we had 2. And but every Sunday was either lasagna or spaghetti, and the family would gather.
Yeah.
And so there's great things that happen with people, with food being the center. There's something about sitting at that table.
Absolutely.
Right?
Bringing everyone together.
Oh,
like, when I met my husband, they, like his family's very small. It's just like him, his mom, dad, and sister, right? But they all like, "Oh, we'll see each other when we see each other." I'm like, "No, I'm cooking dinner, and y'all better be here by 5 o'clock.
Where's he from? Is he from Louisiana?
Here, Yuba City, born and raised.
Oh, that's right. I think you told me
I
that.
met him when I got stationed here.
Oh.
So when he met me, he's just like, "Yeah, like I don't really do birthday parties. Like I haven't had a party since I was 12. I'm just like, "This is crazy," because every birthday party, we having a party.
He's going to learn about family.
Oh, he learned real quick. We were in year 8, and he's learned. He's like, "I'm already expecting, a party because our birthdays are 5 days apart in July."
Wow.
So, and then our daughters are about 4 days apart in May. So we typically just kind of cluster everything together. Like, okay, the girls are going to be celebrated together, and then we'll celebrate together. But there's always a party.
So wait a minute. You only have girls?
2 girls.
Oh, this brother's outnumbered.
He is outnumbered. He's just like, "Well, sometimes I think I want a son." I'm just like, "Sometimes you don't have a good track record, sir." And twins run in my family, so it's very
really
scary. So yeah, my mom has a set of identical girls, and my dad has a set of fraternal girls. So they were in high school when they had me. So obviously, they went their separate ways. My mom got married, had kids, whatever. And so I'm just like, both of my parents have sets of twins. I'm good. I'm okay, because the chances of that is just like is very high. And
so basically, if you guys decided to have another baby, you could have twin girls. And then he'd have 4 girls.
See, you get it. You get it.
That's what Patty said. I said, "Let's have a girl." And she said, "You don't know that. You can't design that."
No.
Yeah.
No, but we're very blessed. I'm content. We're content with our 2 girls. They'll be 8 and 2 next month. So the age difference is kind of like, whoa, it's a big gap, but it's a great gap, because the oldest she's very hands-on with her sister. She's very like, "Can I get you anything?" Like when I was like pregnant and all that stuff. Like, "Mommy, do you want some water? Do you want some snacks? Is the baby doing okay? Can I hear her heartbeat?" So she's very hands-on.
So she got her mom's hospitality heart, didn't she?
Yeah. She's they're both like the light of our world. So I think we're good, because I can take one of them and kind of do whatever, and then he'll take one, and it's just it's good. It's even. I don't want to be outnumbered.
So you met him. Was he in the military?
No, I'm the only.
Oh, you were in the military, and
he was from
here.
Yeah.
So what does he do?
He does commercial refrigeration. So
that's a good guy to have around.
HVAC, refrigeration systems.
Does he have his own company?
No, he works for a company.
Okay.
But he works for a great company. Like I say, go where they value you, right? Go
Yeah.
where you're appreciated.
Yeah.
Go where, they understand life happens and you're just not a number. How, how
It's
we're treated
important.
in the military. You're just a
Yeah.
number, you're going to be replaced. I said, I don't want you having to experience that. So go where you're valued. And he found a company. He's been one for like 6 years. So he enjoys it. It gets pretty crazy in the summertime, obviously, with the grocery stores and their HVAC systems, their refrigeration systems going down. Everything's blowing up or stop working during the summertime. So it can be pretty crazy during the summertime, but very grateful for that company.
So you got out of the regulars and went into the
Reserves.
active reserves. You're in the active
Yeah.
reserves. You're at the 940th, which I was with the 940th when I went back in. When that's the fuelers is what they had. And then they moved up here. They closed Mather and moved up here. And they didn't have fuelers. I don't know what they were doing before the fuelers came back. But that was, I love doing that. I got to get up and go back with the boom operator because we'd fly with them. And I just loved it. It was a great thing. But I also loved the reserves because it really was 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks out of the year.
Roughly out of the year.
They used to go to England for their 2 weeks. I don't know what they do now.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about no England. We don't do that. We don't have money. So you better go in your office and figure it out.
So how do they work that? Because it still counts towards 20 years, right? Like retirement.
It's like a point system.
So you did how many years active?
I did 4 or 5 roughly. And then I went reserves and I just re-enlisted last year. So I'm on year 9.
Okay.
Total military time, year 9. So I got a little ways to go until retirement, but if I just got to do 1 weekend a month until I retire, so be it.
I did 13 and got out.
Why'd you get out?
Aged out.
Aged out. Okay.
Because when I'd gone back in, I went in the state reserves.
Oh, okay.
And so well, actually what happened was I got cancer, which I don't have now, praise God.
Amen.
But it was just time. I knew it. But I do have a great appreciation for what the military does for us. Good and bad, the good outweighs, right? Yeah. And it's not like everybody has a great experience. And I had friends that they couldn't wait to get out, and then others that stayed in. The only reason I got out the first time was a lack of maturity on my part. It had nothing to do with the military, right? I just didn't have the goods to, I was too young to see what was going on and what potentially could be in front of me. Because had I known, I would have gone in the reserves. And then I got out of the reserves because I had become an evangelist and I got ordained. So it was like, that
the paths didn't align anymore for you.
Yeah, I can't do the 2 weeks because I'm in another state.
Yeah.
It's like, so.
But it takes a special type of person to realize that and to acknowledge that, like, hey, this isn't going to be for me, right? This isn't aligning with my life path right now, and that's completely okay. But you recognize that early on. Not everyone has the ability or has that opportunity. So
you have your own business.
I do.
I love this. This is how I found out about you, right? When you called, and I went, this gal's got that. But I wanted to talk about your past and where you're from and who you are, and then first it's who you are, then it's what do you do? Yeah. And so you have your own legal business.
Correct. Non-attorney legal services.
So it's like paralegal.
Essentially. So where a lot of people get confused is they're like, they associate like paralegals with like low cost legal services, which that's exactly what it is, right? But when you break it down, you have an attorney and then you have a paralegal and then you have, assistant legal assistant or secretary or receptionist, something like that. So there's tiers. So
it limits what you can do without connecting them. Got it.
Right. So a paralegal, like they can only do what they're instructed to do by their said attorney, who's their boss, who oversees everything, right? And then there's what's called LDAs, legal document assistants. So that's everything legal documents. You have to be registered and bonded with the county that you work in. So Sutter County, I service Sutter County. I also service Yuba County and Colusa, things of that nature. But I like to make sure people understand the difference, because when someone's like, oh, I need a paralegal, it's like, okay, well, when it comes to education, like, yes, I check off, that box. I do have a paralegal certificate, but also have my undergrad in law. So I'm educated and I have other certificates, in various other
I
things.
just thought you were a great cook.
But when it comes to
not your last name, I meant literally cook.
Yeah. But when it comes to like legal documents assistance, it's like, okay, those are two separate things. So I don't advertise myself as a paralegal because guess what? There's no managing attorney. I cannot advertise myself as a paralegal.
Oh, because got it.
Correct. I may have the credentials and the education to meet that standard, right? But I'm a legal document assistant and I have a legal document business, but we also have a plethora of other things. So we're not just legal documents. I like to call our business a legal ecosystem for support. So we have the documents, we have mediation services, we have in-house therapy, we have Spanish language court liaison. So Laura, my receptionist, will accompany the Spanish speaking in court or, to whatever set appointments and any translation.
I met your assistant. Nice gal.
I love her. She's saving grace. And we also have the child custody supervised visitations and custody exchange monitoring. But we also have so many other resources for people so they can come and get what they need. Obviously, if someone's coming in for a divorce or whatever the case is, it doesn't just start there and stop there. What if they need something else? What if they need therapy? What if they need, hey, I need to get my grandma's will, or I need help with, finances or something like that. We can always refer them out somewhere if it's outside of our scopes of services, right? We also offer a sliding scale. So if they are on Social Security or if they're on VA disability or just set low income, we work with them. We offer free consultations because I'm a firm believer that I can't sit here and just say, hey, I'm going to take your money, but sorry, I can't help you. I just sit well with my spirit. So we do free consultations and unlimited communication because if the shoe was on the other foot, I would want to be talking to someone who's handling my stuff all the time. Like, hey, what's an update? Can I talk to you? I'm experiencing this. And being able to sit down and understand where they're coming from, that's a game changer. And when I'm in my office, I'm in casual clothing, sometimes a hoodie and some sweatpants because I want them to relate. I want to be relatable. I don't always dress up because if they see me in a nice suit and some heels, they're going to think she doesn't understand where I'm coming from. She's got money. So presentation and appearance matters. I grew up on food stamps. I grew up a certain way. I grew up not in the bottom of the barrel, but there were some struggles. So I'm going to understand a little bit more where they're coming from and be able to resonate with them. Hey, yeah, I get it. I do. But not everyone's going to take the time out to be able to, relate to them and do that. Yeah, I can help you, but I'm going to take your money and then send you on your way and never hear from you again.
I tell people we miss it a lot when we judge people by their appearance and we just we don't always know what people have been through. I tell people my dad died when I was 12. I left home at 15.
Oh my goodness.
I got my first job at 13.
Whoa.
And I lived wherever I could live, stayed with, I was doing that. Now they call it couch surfing.
Couch surfing, yeah.
At that time, though, I'd live with relatives or friends, whatever, because I was determined to finish high school.
Yeah.
When I got out of high school, I had come out to California. I had a girlfriend out here. And I went back home because I was going to get my stuff and move out here permanently, and I got drafted.
Oh.
And it was like you sometimes decisions are made for you in life. But the military I was like, man, I got a bed. I remember the first time I went to the chow hall. They had chocolate milk that was as thick as a malt. And you could have as much as you want. People were like,
"Hope you aren't lactose intolerant."
I was 119 pounds, soaking wet.
Oh man!
But man, I got up in the night to go to midnight chow. The fact I could get 4 meals and eat as much as I want
for free.
For free. So I loved it. My brothers and I were talking about it because my older brother he went in the Army, and my younger brother. went in the Marines. It was during Vietnam, so we all went in. But we all would talk about that, and people would say, "You thought the chow hall food was great? You should have been eating what I was eating before I had the chow hall food." And so, but we have a tendency, and so I appreciate what you're saying. Look, I want people to know I can relate to where they're at because they're trying to make a decision, a decision that could affect their life adversely, or it could just be a decision like you and I talked about, having a will or a trust, right? Yeah. Things that normally you would think everybody has, but everybody doesn't have. But I wanted to talk about a specific area with you, and that was when we were doing the interview, you talked about the military.
Yeah.
And I don't think people understand. I know it happened to me. Man, you even though you may know I'm going to rotate, sometimes that can happen earlier than you thought.
Than expected.
Right? Yeah, you're just all of a sudden, hey, here's your order.
PCS has come out of thin air, what seems
and then so you've got power of attorney, all these things that you have to go get.
Yeah.
And so you are a great resource because it's not just that you've been there, you're still there.
I literally have 1 foot in the door.
Yep.
and 1 foot out.
And so especially with Beale Air Base being here, and then even people that were in the military that would get that, then you have the ability to relate to them, right? Because you've been there. And then you got that little bit of Southern comfort that just automatically comes out.
Sometimes
you can't help yourself.
Sometimes it can come off as, something different if an individual isn't used to being around someone Southern, like, oh wow, you're very brashy or you're very like aggressive. I'm like, no, sweetheart, I'm just Southern. I'm gonna say what I have to say respectfully, but either way, you heard what I said. You heard what I said.
Yeah. Bless your heart.
Bless it, please. So it's a blessing and a curse. I'm very blessed and extremely humble. Being accepted by the community, but there's the onesies, twosies, or threesies. You're like, I don't like you. I don't like. Well, why not? Is it because of like? And I drive myself crazy trying to figure out like, oh, where did I go wrong? Why doesn't this person like me? Or, why do they not want to network with me? Like, did I do something wrong? Did I da-da-da-da-da? But it's just like sometimes I had to realize sometimes my presence and my accomplishments threatens other people's insecurities.
Yeah, I had an experience where a lady, I was at a church, and I was one of the musicians there, and she played organ, right? And all of a sudden, she started treating me, mean. And she was always nice to me. And I was like, what the heck?
Where's this coming from?
So finally, one day, I went up and I said, hey, look, what did I do
to deserve this treatment?
And she said, I owe you an apology. She said, when you grew your beard, you looked like a guy that such and such happened to me from that guy.
Those triggers.
And so, I think sometimes we just have to be aware. It may be nothing we did, but it's always good to check, hey, have I done something? But sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. They're just going to hate you because they hate you. It's like,
and that's
what's that
okay.
thing? Haters will hate.
Haters will hate. They'll talk. They'll spread rumors. Which is, hey, do what makes you sleep better at night. But at the same time, it's not going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. It's not going to stop me from taking care of my clients. It's not going to stop me from serving my community. So whatever you have going on to where you have to project those insecurities, do what you have to do.
Yeah.
But it's not going to stop me from making sure that our people are taken care of.
Well, yeah, and I'm not going to change because somebody has issues with me. I'm too old of a tomcat to be fooled by a kitten.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
It's like, we're just going to go with it. But the other thing is, I remember when I was a pastor, there was a bumper sticker I really wanted, but I thought people would get mad if I put it on.
What did it say?
It said, mean people suck. And I just said, I want to put that on my car, right? And it's like, look, there's a time to draw the line.
Yeah.
And people from the South are very much that way, right? They're polite, they're cordial, but if there's a line to be drawn, they're not afraid to draw it.
They go and draw it with a permanent marker.
And it's like, okay, but then you know where you stand, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think what I love about the Yuba Sutter area is there is every kind of person here, personality-wise,
melting
everything.
pot.
Go down the list.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I have found the people in this area are always looking for a way to volunteer, help other people, right? Make a difference.
Make a difference.
And I see it over and over again. I see it with youth, with like we trained FFA students to do podcasts and that. And these are great kids. And it's like people want to talk about the school, but man, I've had interns from Lyndhurst High School in here and then, like I said, FFA and it's like we have a lot of great kids in this area, and I think it's important that we recognize how much of that's here.
Absolutely.
And then we have people like yourself that come here, and you have a service that people need, and it's like, okay, well, why not go there?
Yeah.
So since we've gotten that far, what's the name of your business? Valor what?
A Valor Legal and Family Court Services.
It's not like a mouthful.
And we've adopted the shorter version. So when I won the award, the Emerging Business Award at the Chamber of Commerce,
you won that?
I won that.
Come on.
They're just like Valor Legal Services. I said, well, I guess that's
There
my
you
name
go.
now, which is understandable.
VLS. It'll be VLS next.
It's a mouthful, right? But I wanted it to capture, not just one thing, but a plethora of other things. We're not just this. We're this plus everything else, right? But I'm like, okay, that's the new name now. So be it. And we have like a couple of certificates of recognition from like the county supervisor. And it just is like Valor Legal Services. So I'm like, all right, it's fitting. We'll keep it.
Where are you located? What's your actual location?
So we're literally across the street from Sutter County Courthouse. So on Civic
That's
Center,
convenient.
on Civic Center Boulevard, walking distance. So in the event, individuals who are just leaving court or something like that, they can walk on over, ask whatever they have to ask. But it's positioned perfectly.
So if somebody came in and they said, Cherish, I don't know what I need. I'm just your average dude. So if I came in and said, what kind of legal things should I have?
Coming from a personal experience, I always tell people you should have a will just in case something happens.
Okay.
But like if they're going through something and they don't know what, like they literally don't know what they want, then I'm like, I'll sit down, I'll still do my consultation with them. I'll give my spiel. Hey, I'm not an attorney. I cannot give you legal advice. I cannot strategize for you. I can't, tell you what to say, what to do in court. Those are out of my scopes of services. I'm not a licensed attorney, so that's a hard no, right? But some attorneys do offer kind of like a low cost or, under a certain amount when it comes to their consultations. So maybe go talk to an attorney to kind of see which direction you want to go and what would be the best fitting for you. And then come back when you have your answer. You know what you want. You know what you need filed. I'll take care of everything for you. From start to finish, that's drafting all your paperwork, submitting it to the court for filing, court running. So like going back and forth, like, oh, hey, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay, I'll come over and grab it or something like that. And then we also process serve for them. So obviously they can't, if they're a party in the case, they can't do it themselves. So
okay, so it's starting to make sense to me, right? So there are standard legal documents
like divorce, custody.
that we should have, and then you guys can
we'll draft
not just draft them up, you can file them. So
Yes,
you
sir.
can make sure so if somebody came in and they wanted a restraining order,
Absolutely.
right? So it's like you can tell them they have to see somebody first.
If they know they want a restraining, like, hey, I'm here for a restraining order. Okay, is it, a DV type of restraining, or is it like a civil harassment restraining order? Because there's different types. And they're like, oh, it's against my, my son's ex-girlfriend or something like that. Okay, cool. Got it. And we'll annotate that. We need
So
all
if anybody comes in and says, I want a restraining order against Fish, you're going to call me because it's probably Kurt, right?
I'm not going to call you. I'm going to just do what my client directs me to do.
You just met Kurt. So so like I could get a restraining order against Kurt, say, I don't want you to play bagpipes in my building. Is that even a thing?
If that's what you want. Now, if it's granted or not, that's
well, that's the thing.
That's
so
the
you
thing.
can do
It's-
the
it's-
paper
it's up to
shuffle
the
for
judge. I'll
them.
get you before the judge.
What about
Everything else-
custody and things like that?
Yes, sir.
Can you do those?
Yes, sir.
So
Everything.
you can do wills, you can do custody, you can do
divorce.
So whatever,
restraining
what do you call
orders.
it? Process serving.
Process
so
serving.
somebody is once they're getting a divorce, they can't give their spouse the papers.
No.
They have to have somebody else do
no.
it.
Yeah.
So you guys can do that.
Yes, sir.
You know, I'd rather people to get. You guys should do wedding announcements too, just to balance it out. We serve wedding announcements. Wouldn't that be something? If you had somebody come up and said, "I'm coming here for Bill because he wants to marry you, and so I'm serving the proposal."
Oh God!
You get down and you do
You're
the
getting
proposal.
creative. I'll make it into a service. Give me about 6 months. I'm just kidding. No.
That might end up being a thing. You don't know. Something like that could happen.
But it gets very emotional. You know, it gets very
the
emotional.
situations that people
It
can
gets
be
very,
in, especially probably
toxic.
anything to do with kids.
anything to do with kids, you know? And so it's coming from a place where like, hey, I have kids too. I understand. Like you want to do what's best to protect them, right? So, you know, people come in, they vent, they cry, they're frustrated, you know, and just let them have their moment. I just sit there and like, we have water, tea, coffee, tissues,
Yeah.
or whatever you need, get it out, you know.
I think once you release the emotion,
You can think clearly.
you can think
have that
clearly.
clarity.
Logic comes back, and you
Yeah.
go, "Okay, I'm very mad, but I want to know what the best course of action is."
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, you guys can do counseling, you do therapy, but you
there's
can't
there's a therapist across like so
Yeah.
where we're at, we're kind of like there's like a horseshoe of offices, right? So we have like the main reception center, and then I have like three offices in the corner, and then our therapist is literally 2 doors down on the other side. So he's gladly accepted, you know, all of the referrals that we send him, because when someone needs help, they don't want to go to multiple different places all over like this to get what they need, right? If they can come here, have their custody exchange done here, go to therapy 2 doors down, get what they need, and, you know, their divorce is being processed and send them on their way. It's
Yeah, I'm going to send Kurt to the therapist for that he can learn how to do conflict resolution.
But I might bring my bagpipes.
Yeah,
Bagpipes is crazy. You can't be too loud though. We have like 2 massage therapists back there, so you have to like
Nobody's getting a massage to bagpipes. What's not gonna
Well, they could be very soothing, actually.
see. Well, I mean, that's a good point.
what?
Do you know how to play saxophone?
No.
I played alto saxophone in middle school.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on!
Loved it. Loved it. I named her Sadie, so like Sweet Sadie.
Oh, yeah.
But I love saxophone. Like Kenny G is still one of my favorite artists.
Yeah.
Like I'll put him on just to kind of like do the dishes or, you know, take a shower or just to have on.
We put up smooth jazz stations. Quit doing that. There was a mistake when Arbitron sold to Nielsen that somehow, because radio stations are looking for the best music they play for a market.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that because we're just communities.
Mm-hmm.
We play some of everything, but we have a smooth jazz program on Sundays. Kenny G's on there, but there's just it's great smooth jazz. My son puts it together, and it's really there is certain musics do that. So I could see going in your office and there's Kenny G playing.
Listen, because people come in at the highest peak of their emotional state, and they just kind of need to be kind of brought down back to ground level. Like, hey, listen to the tunes. We don't need a heavy rock and metal because it's just gonna amp them up. I'm ready to go fight. I'm like, oh, calm down. Let's take a deep breath. Let's get realigned. Like, what are we here for? We're here, like, keep your children in mind, and we're gonna try to make sure it's safe. And because some people, they come in, they're all over the place. They're all over the place, like literally all over the place. I'm like, hold on, take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay. But they're not thinking about that because all they see is red. All they see is red. Like they're angry, they're upset, they're hurt.
Yeah.
A lot of emotions, especially when kids are involved. So it's a blessing to be able to like night and day, like after everything's done and they got what they wanted in core or something like that, and they come back, thank you, I appreciate it, thank you, thank you, thank you, like thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm like, I'm just doing my job, you're welcome. Like being able to sit down and take the time of day that other people wouldn't have even given them, that's a huge blessing to a lot of people, especially if they don't have to like pay per hour. Obviously I limit it, 30 minutes, hour max, right? But at the end of the day, you're a blessing to someone else in some way, shape, or form just by listening.
Mm-hmm.
They're not asking for critique or feedback or judgment, just to hear them out. That's all they need. That's all they need. So I've had a lot of clients come back like hugs, tears, like thank you. I had someone drop off like a platter of food. I was like, you got me.
She's got
You got me.
the back of your office. There's a stove back there. The food's cooking,
Listen,
that'd be different.
You coming with some tamales? We friends forever.
So, do you guys have a web page?
We do. It's valorcourtservices.com. It's in the works. We're working on it. We're taking off some things, just revamping it, right?
You got it right. So people know what you're
open business is just like, okay, here's the idea, here's what I want, here's the vision I want, and then obviously things change, and we've been recognized for a lot of things. We want that to be displayed. That way, people know that they're in the right place.
Yeah.
So it's being worked on right now. But I'm very excited to display like all the upcoming changes and what we've been working on, like what's coming up new, what's coming up next. So it's been great seeing the growth, the tremendous growth that I've had in just about a year, almost a year, like 11 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So I'll have Kurt, on this video, and you certainly are welcome to put it on your webpage. Sell it if you can get money out of it.
I don't
trade it for recipes. I mean, whatever works.
Hey, can I get the recipe to your spaghetti?
Oh man, I bet people ask me for that one. So, I just want to do one more thing before we get out of here. So, when you brave the tank,
oh wow,
you get a cup that says "I was in the tank with fish."
And you know what I'm gonna put in here?
Sweet tea.
How you knew?
Come on, you're down south.
How you knew? It might be some peach tea.
Yeah, you might.
Or whatever the case may be, but you absolutely tea is going in there. Fresh lemon and everything, homemade.
Oh man,
homemade.
I was I can't remember when it was, but it was the first time I was standing on somebody's deck. It's when I was playing in the band, so it's been a number of years ago. And they had a great big, like a gallon jug.
Was it sitting in the
They call it sun tea.
Yeah.
So
out sitting out.
Yeah. The sun does it. And
Yes.
so I'm looking at it.
That's
and
how you make tea.
I didn't know that. So I was like, I was born in Brooklyn, raised in St. Louis, right? Yeah. It's like we didn't have snow tea. We did have snow ice cream.
I've seen that.
Oh my!
I've seen that.
Gosh, that's great stuff. And then so I remember that they started talking about all the stuff could be in the air, so you shouldn't have snow tea. But it was like, man, my sister be.
I grew up drinking water out of a hose. Like, my immune system is top notch. Eating dirt, like top notch. Like
riding.
Yeah, what's the big deal?
Yeah, riding in the back of a pickup, no seatbelt, nothing.
My grandma used to do this thing where she would, she still does it now. Like, so when she's driving and she has to like come to an abrupt stop, she literally throws her hand out like this. She's like, I'm sorry, it's a habit. I'm like, we've had seatbelts for how many years now? She's like, right at your neck. I'm like, girl, you about to choke me.
It's really funny because you think, well, yeah, it's like okay, I'm just taking care of everybody in the car,
right? Because she grew up without seatbelts, so she always used to throw her hand out to make sure that her siblings or the kids didn't go like flying through the windshield. But it's fun. I love. I call myself a transplant. I love being transplanted where I am now. Like I don't see myself, we're not going anywhere, right? Like our community is here. My in-laws are here. I have so much resource, it's like so many resources, so much fun. But Yuba City is just,
It's a great community.
it's a great community.
It's a great community.
It's a great community.
I was on talk radio and had the opportunity to start 93Q, which is community radio. And then now to be able to do TV, because I think there is a lot in this community that people aren't aware of.
Absolutely.
And I think, honestly, Cherish, I think the greatest resource we have here is people. And that's why I want people to know you.
Yeah.
I want them to know you have a business.
I'm the
But
nicest thing ever.
I
I'm
want
not
them to
mean.
know that your name is not Gumbo Girl.
Or catfish. Huh?
Oh, my tapping my So,
tapping,
folks, Kurt has to I'm one of these guys. My wife says, Bob, I can tell when you go to sleep because you stop moving. I am moving constantly, right? And so I don't think about it. So it comes up with a sound. I'm over here tapping my foot, and it's like, so thank you, Kurt.
It's got to keep you in check.
Just doing my job.
Yeah, that's it, right? Keeping me squared away. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time to come on, Cherish, because I probably would have wanted you to do this anyway.
Yeah.
Just so that people can get to know you, because I think you're a great gal. But
Oh, thank you.
that's just
I really
my
do
opinion.
appreciate you for having me.
And but I also want people to know, about different businesses that we have in the area. I want them to understand most small businesses are mom and pops, right? And so they it's not like you got a stock on Wall Street and waiting for your golden parachute.
Right.
You're here working and helping people in our community. And the other thing I want to say is, you mentioned you're a transplant, okay? But honestly, I tell people all the time, I don't want the business that's going on out there to come here. I want what we got to go there. So you bring in that Southern hospitality here. Now I want that to go out there.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like we need some of that here.
Yeah.
We probably don't need as much Brooklyn. But
it's good to have different types of everything.
Yeah.
Right? Because the trajectory of the world, the economy, we need a bunch of everything to stimulate what we have going on right now.
yeah.
So if it's ideas, if it's businesses, if it's, something that we haven't even thought about, we need the resources. We don't want people going out to Sacramento or Roseville or, even past that Elk Grove, Stock, wherever you have to go to get the basics or to get some assistance. We want to keep everything in-house.
Yeah.
We want to keep everything within our 530 because it's hard, our people taking, their money to a different county, different city.
Yep.
And it's like, we need that here. We need more resources for our community. And it's hard because it's like, oh, well, we don't have money or this or that. So it's always a challenge trying to find something that can be beneficial without having to go and travel to find a quality of whatever the case may be.
So that's what's going to happen next. I am so grateful that Cherish came on because she has Valor Legal Services. And look for that new Louisiana restaurant to show up sometime. It's like,
get out of my head. How'd you know?
Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, follow so you never miss one of these. And also go to 93Q TV on YouTube, and you'll be able to pick up this one in the tank as well as others. Our sports show, the morning interviews, the ones with sound are better. And so,
Agreed.
Or she came in, did a 15-minute interview. There was no sound.
No
so
sound.
we fixed that now, right? We're good.
I thought my hearing aids was going. I said, what's going on? I can't hear.
God bless you, Yuba Sutter. Thanks for watching.